Judy Zelina. This is the Millcreek Government Channel. Presque lifeguards supervise the safety and rescue of swimmers enjoying the beautiful beaches of Presque. Lifeguards are strong swimmers and trained in CPR, AED first aid. They're also certified in water rescue using a variety of aids and equipment. These lifeguards maintain constant surveillance of visitors to Presque State Park. They act immediately and appropriately to secure safety of patrons in the event of emergency, along with emergency care and treatment as required until the arrival of medical services. Here today to talk about the need for lifeguards at Presque this summer season are two Lake Erie lifeguard managers, Bob North and Steve Dunsmore. Welcome, guys, to the program. This is the first time we've had lifeguards, and I'm kind of excited to let the viewers know that really the behind the scenes of a lifeguard.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We really do appreciate it.
You do a great job. I mean, you are just so, of course, instrumental to Presque. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
What I'd like to, maybe, Bob, could you tell us a little bit about the history of lifeguarding at Presque? I mean, when did we start getting lifeguards and the reason for it?
Yep. Actually, the first lifeguards at Presque started in the early 1900s, and that was with, the swimming took place on the bayside, in which is now the waterworks area, the ferry slip area. And the early 1900s, that's where the swimming took place. The infrastructure just was not there at the park. And eventually, the water quality on the bayside deteriorated a little bit more, and the infrastructure improved, and they moved the lifeguarding over to the waterworks, which is now the currently waterworks, and they built up that waterworks area with bathhouses and really improved the infrastructure there. There's a pier that went out, and that was owned by the city, and the city owned and operated the lifeguards out there. But I think it was around 1927, in the early 20s, that the Presque State Park was formed. And one of the things that the state did was put together this Park and Harbor Commission. But then in 1957, the city turned the waterworks area over to the state also. So then the state park took over all of the lifeguarding there. They opened up down by Beach 1. And right now, which is Beach 10, which back then was Beach 3, they started to open up areas throughout the length of the park. Then Frank Pettinato took over, and all the way from the early 50s or mid 50s up until the 80s, we went from like 3 or 4 beaches that they had 21 beaches open. We had 90 up to almost 90 lifeguards with managers and supervisors at one time. And currently, we have 11 beaches open, and we went back. A couple things that are affecting that right now. A lot of it is the high water is like eliminating some of the beaches that we could have open. And the state is taking, really starting to improve a lot of these beach areas. And we can talk about that later, what they've done at Beach 8 recently. So today, we have 55 lifeguards working with us, and there are probably 12 supervisors, 3 managers, and 40 lifeguards who are spread out at over 9 beaches.
Okay.
And those guards, they range in age experience from 0 years to 10, 15 years, and we have a mixture of first responders in there. So the areas that we guard are a little bit less, but I think they're very well guarded right now.
Now, you tell me again, how many lifeguards do you have on the beaches now?
All right, at a full complement, we have 40 lifeguards, and within those 40 lifeguards, we have guards who've kind of excelled in their skill level, and we have what's called their first responders.
Okay.
And one of the things that we do and has changed over the years is when we first started, there was no equipment involved in these rescues at all. There was just the guard going out and making a rescue.
They just jumped in and saved them.
And now, we have rescue cans, and we have jet skis, we have first response vehicles, we have backboards. There's a really extensive communication system that we have out there.
Now, not all of the beaches are guarded because it's only where swimming is permitted. Now, where is swimming, Steve, where's swimming permitted?
So swimming is only permitted on guarded beaches at Presque.
All right.
Now, when I say a guarded beach, there's a guarded beach will take Barracks Beach, for example, there could be up to 4 guards there on a busy Saturday or Sunday, but the swimming can only occur inside the guarded area of that guarded beach.
All right. Now, do you guys have that, usually have it kind of marked?
Right, so the guarded area is designated on all of our guarded beaches. There are 3-foot orange cones, and there's a 12-foot flagpole with a flag at the top, and that flag could either be green, yellow, or red, given the conditions that we're experiencing at that time of the day, and that those flags can change hour by hour throughout the day. And then we do have out in the water a 4-foot orange buoy marker, and that's placed every day at chest level, shoulder depth. And again, that can change throughout the day as well, depending on what conditions were presented. There's times where we'll start the day early on and it could be flat and calm, and then by 3-4 o'clock we could have a north wind, and we're moving those markers in.
And I've been out on the beaches when that's happened too, and the swimming area gets very, very small. It's right in front of you guys.
Right. So when we're presented those conditions, we do scale it down and condense it a little bit, predominantly for the swimmer's safety. It's when it gets rough, when it gets windy, we need to be able to communicate with the public, but the public needs to hear the lifeguards' instructions and communication as well. So that's why we scale it down, so that not only can we keep an eye on those swimmers, but also so they can hear the instructions that the guards are giving those park swimmers. But along with, if someone does get into trouble, our guards can hear those swimmers. Maybe there's a shout or a cry for help.
Right.
It just is for their safety as much as the guard's safety as well.
Okay, and I'm sure that there's some people who think, I'm a good swimmer. I don't need a lifeguard. Honestly, let our viewers know really why lifeguards are so needed at Presque State Park.
Well, the biggest thing is that Lake Erie can be very dangerous. The one thing that we, meaning the lifeguarding staff, has no control over is Mother Nature and the weather conditions.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I just said, it can change hour by hour, day by day. Our number one goal is preventative lifeguarding. We want to prevent drownings, and we want to prevent people from getting into a potential situation that they're not comfortable with, regardless of their comfort level or skill level of being in the water. Another thing that the guards provide is just additional information to the public. It could be something as simple as where's the nearest restroom, informing them of the rules and regulations that are set forth by the state. For example, can I have my dog where can I have my dog on the beach?
Okay.
The other thing that they do is they just keep a watchful eye on the public and the surroundings, from their post up to the water's edge and then out to the water.
You guys do a great job. Awesome job. Trust me.
And we have, there's probably 3 million people that are coming to Presque in the summer. And in the summer, and the majority of those people are coming to the beach. And there's a lot of things at Presque that, in addition to the beach, that the public, we really like our guards to be able to inform the public of. Getting up to the track, going to the lighthouse right now, which in the last 5 years, the people that are coming to visit that has grown exponentially. There's a ferry slip, there's a Perry Monument, and then there's just attractions in the area that part of their training, they learn about the different parts of the park, they learn about the environment, they learn about why the breakwaters are there. And so it's a really good first source, or many times the only contacts that people have with TCNR employees are lifeguards. So part of their training is, just to help people understand the different activities that are involved or at least available to you at Presque.
Well, you guys have an awesome responsibility. So, which leads me to this question: are there any prerequisites to becoming a Presque lifeguard?
Yep.
Well, I think you have to know how to swim.
Yes.
Okay.
Not only do you have to swim, that we look for strong swimmers.
Okay.
A competitive swimming background is definitely a plus, but we've had some great lifeguards over the years who were not competitive swimmers.
Okay.
So how do we define like a strong swimmer?
Right.
We would like them to be able to swim, or they must be able to swim 50 yards of a pool in under 30 seconds. They must be able to swim 900 yards in under 9 minutes. And also like be able to hold a 10-pound brick at the surface of the water and tread for 2 minutes, so that you have the sufficient leg strength to be able to do that skill for 2 minutes. And then there's some other things, but if somebody can do those 3 things,
wow,
we can train them through the rest of it. Also, what is really important for us, you can't even apply for the job unless you have a current CPR, first aid, and either American Red Cross or YMCA lifeguarding certification.
Okay.
Those are the things that you absolutely need to have. After you have those, probably the last thing that we are looking for is somebody who could commit to us. We offer a lot of things to go along with this job, but what's really important to us is that once that you've come on, that you've commit to our schedule. And I say that because we are limited in the number of people that we could hire. I mean, there's only so many positions there. And once June 21st and the summer solstice is here, the lake is warmed up, we'll get 50,000 people out there, and we can't have people who can't work on the weekend or can't work on holidays, because that's when people want to come visit us, and that's where we have to have our best team out there and our best foot forward. So good swimmer, somebody who is looking for an adventure in a job, because it's definitely that. And somebody like you commit to us, and we'll commit to you and provide you with a lifetime of memories as far as a wonderful job to have in the summer.
Well, then the candidates that you'd be looking for, Steve, is it just someone who's going to be looking for a couple years, or somebody who's going to give a commitment of many years? What type of a candidate do you look for?
Sure, we always look for mature, responsible young adults who are, a lot of the job is on-the-job training, as far as we train these young people or young adults to what we need them to do with the skill level. But we're looking for individuals that want to grow, want to develop as young adults, and really use this as a stepping stone for future endeavors and career opportunities. We hold our guards very accountable for all of their actions. We are very stern on punctuality and attendance, and we've had a lot of past guards come back to us and say that you guys taught us some very good life lessons along the way that we apply to our daily job 10, 20 years removed. But like Bob was saying, we need individuals to commit. With almost around 3 million visitors every year, our weekends are very busy.
Yes, they are.
And we to provide that service to the public, we need to have a strong staff, and we need to have people on staff that are willing to make some personal sacrifices to hold the job.
So what is the hiring process like then?
So now is the time to actually apply here in January. I know a lot of young people probably aren't thinking of applying for a summer job quite yet, but it is a state job, and it can be a timely process. So now is the time to apply. Individuals will apply online, and that's www.employment.pa.gov. They'll fill out an initial questionnaire, and their name will be put on a list. Then they'll be given a true application at that point, and they are to fill that out to their entirety. Certainly at any point in time they can contact us if they have questions or concerns or need assistance with that. Then sometime in mid-March to early April, Bob and I with the park will have all the list of candidates that are on the names that are interested in potentially lifeguarding at Presque. We'll contact them. We'll set up an oral interview, and they come into the Tom Ridge Center, and we sit down. We tell them all about the job expectations, qualifications, Everything that we have to offer, we go over uniform, we go over a typical day, everything. We try to paint a very clear picture as to the potential endeavor that they're embarking on. So then, once that is done, they, again, we'll determine if the candidate is a good candidate, and we'll continue the process from there.
Okay, Bob, a Presque lifeguard, how does it differ from lifeguards in other locations in the Erie area?
It may be, to answer that question, just talk about how we're the same. Because no matter where you are as a lifeguard, whether it's up at the top of the hill at Waldemere or the YMCA pools or some of these, Kakwa, every single lifeguard out there has that same responsibility.
Yes.
That anybody who's coming out to visit you, that they come out healthy and that they leave healthy, and that in any given time that you're going to help them, understand what the dangers of that facility is. That being said, Presque has a lot of things that others don't, and the biggest thing, obviously, is Lake Erie. It is we're the only surf lifeguarding around here, because we're surf, there's some inherent parts of this job that are more difficult because you don't have control over the depth or the water quality. I mean, there are days at Presque, you've been there, that is absolutely beautiful. You can see 20 feet down, and then like half hour later, you can't see like 3 inches in front of your face as far as getting down to the bottom. There are currents, there are waves, they are now we adjust to them, and the guards know how to adjust for them, but that aspect of it is different. Again, though, we train the guards on how to deal with it, so it's not monumental. They just know how to track people that at the surface, and they pretty much know what to look for in case somebody is potentially could get into problems. The other things that are different at Presque, and I think this is a really big plus for us, that because we have people all over the country that are coming to visit us, like when the conditions are poor, we don't close Presque up. Now, when the conditions are dangerous, like lightning, we will restrict and ask people to leave and seek shelter. But if it's raining and it's cold and you've come up here from Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Ohio, somewhere, with a carload of nieces, nephews, and sons and daughters, they're going to go swimming in that cold water. And our guards are going to be there in that water to make sure that you're safe, that you're there. So the difficult part is there could be some really uncomfortable days that you're working there. But if you're a high school, potentially going to college, and that you're looking for a steady pay schedule that you can count on this money, that's what we offer out there. Now, do we force all guards to stay out there on a day like that? No, we'll take volunteers to go home. Right. But if you're in a situation that you need that money, and we'll find work for you, and we'll keep you employed throughout the summer. The other thing that we do, that I think separates us out from a lot of the others, if not all of them, is how much we devote to training our guards. It starts off with 10 days of an orientation where those guards will learn everything there is about our emergency action plans, but then again, like we talked about the park and those kind of things, every single day that they come out there, they receive some type of training, whether it's physical, recertifications, and then after you complete your season, all your certifications are re-upped at no cost to you. We supply all the guards with all the equipment. When you come out there, rescue cans, radios, even like sunscreen and sunglasses, that we'll supply that. When you go out to your area, you're going to have all the equipment that you need to successfully deal with anything that you're going to what will come to you in that day. And I'm not saying the other places don't do that, because I'm sure they do. But we do it very well out there. We take care of their training. Everybody out there, I mean, if something comes up, they're going to know how to handle it.
So you make sure you go the extra mile, and that that your guards are going to have everything that they're going to need in any type of a scenario that may happen during that day, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Steve, what are the main responsibilities for Presque lifeguard?
So the main responsibilities
There's a lot from what I've heard, but in a nutshell.
Our philosophy at Presque for lifeguarding is prevention. That is our number one mission statement is preventing people from getting into situations that could cause them harm or ultimately a loss of life. But secondly is to just inform the public, like Bob was talking about earlier, as far as the rules and regulations and what Presque Isle truly has to offer. We know that on any given day there's individuals that have traveled 2, 3, if not more hours to come to Presque Isle. And if it's the middle of July, chances are they're coming to swim. But Presque Isle has so much more to offer. There's the multi-purpose trail, there's the lagoons, there's picnic shelters. There's areas of the park that people can discover and people can truly enjoy and see Presque Isle for its full beauty, not just on the beaches. So that's one thing that we strive, like Bob was saying also, when we have candidates come in and they go through their 10-day orientation, we give them all the tools that they could possibly need to assist the public. It might be something like, what time do the pontoon boats ride, or what's that like? Well, our guards experience a pontoon boat ride on the park during their orientation so that they can accurately answer the questions from the public. It might be a day where there's a chance of thunderstorms, and we have a bunch of families with little ones out at Beach 11 and storms come in and the parents don't want to go home completely for the day. So we send our guards to the Tom Ridge Center during that orientation. They learn all about the activities that are going on there so that the guards can point the public to the Tom Ridge Center and say, hey, we're going to probably be closed for an hour till this thunderstorm rolls through. You may want to check out the Tom Ridge Center. There's a lot of interactive things there that the children might enjoy, and the public perceives that very well and is very receptive of that.
Right. And that's what I wanted to stress, that if you are on the beaches and the lifeguards will either condense your swimming area or there's a change, to respect their decision, because they have looked at all the options and this is truly for your safety.
Sure, yeah.
And I think people have to be aware of that, and you can't get upset because, like we said, in Erie, in a half hour the weather can change, the conditions can change, and can all be back to normal. But the bottom line is you are there for their safety.
Right, we're there, for their safety, but we're there to enhance their visitor experience to Presque Isle. There's, we get a lot of questions from the public, and it may not be solely related to Presque Isle, but a family or visitors may be looking for somewhere to stop to eat on their way, home.
Yeah.
They may have someone in the family may be really enjoy history and they want to know some more history about the park. So we really do try to educate the public in all aspects.
So you're like a Presque Isle Erie encyclopedia, is pretty much what you are, along with all the other duties.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you guys absolutely amaze me. Our time's coming to an end, but what I'd like to do is let our viewers know how they can get information on becoming a lifeguard. Where can they go to get more information on this?
The easiest thing is to just contact lifeguard headquarters at Presque Isle State Park, and that's 814-833-0526. Typically that phone is manned between 8 and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, but we do have an answering service, so if someone does have some questions or would like to apply, certainly just give us a call. If we're not there, leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the program. Is there anything you wanted to add that we didn't cover?
I think as far as some of the perks, like what we didn't cover is our guards start at $13.04 an hour. And in addition to that, some of the other perks that we were doing from our guards is like we have a really extensive program of events that we put on. And we don't have to put these on, but we decided years ago to do these events. They're 3-mile run, swim, run, some very vigorous things. So these guards can train for them, and they train for that because it's right out in front of them. They know they have to compete, and they're competing against each other. But it's much easier to do that than to try to train for a drowning that may or may not be there. So, and if you ever want to do something fun, come down on some Saturday morning when we're doing these events, because there's some of the finest athletes in Erie competing against each other. It's another fun thing that we do, like you kids from Prep and McDowell, and they happen to be in the same zone when they're cheering against their old teammates who happen to be in another zone. But there's, you know, because most of these kids do come from competitive background, and we fulfill that little need for them to have some competition. And generally, like a lot of these guys like to work out and be in shape, and you know that opportunity is there for them also.
So it's serious business, but you try and make it fun too for them too.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We are, you know, we stress that team building, just, you know, working together as a team, and really tried to have our guards as involved as possible with each other in job-related events and experiences.
You guys do a great job. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining
Thank you for
us
having
on the
us.
program. And viewers, again, give them a phone call if you want more information. But the bottom line is they do a great job, and I can't thank you enough for being there when I'm on the beaches and my family. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Viewers, thank you for tuning in to the Millcreek Government Channel. Until next time, have a wonderful day.